Look at all the government insignia. It's a church. Church publications were censored. They were forbidden. Attempts to force all German churches into one state-controlled church. Surveillance of the worship services and church leaders were happening. Public attacks on the church by Nazi leaders, including Goebbels and Goering, and of course, ultimately, the persecution and Holocaust of the Jews for their faith and, I guess, for their blood type. What had begun by supposed religious people and a religious man turned into something horrifyingly different. Now, you will hear that many people claim that Hitler was a Christian. And they use Hitler to make their point about how frightening Christian fundamentalists can be. They always say this. But anyone who says that has not read history, or they have read history written by a progressive, not people who were there. Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister, noted in a diary entry in 1939 a conversation with Hitler. He wrote, and I quote, "The Führer is a man totally attuned to antiquity. He hates Christianity because it has crippled all that is noble in humanity." That sounds more like Michael Moore, doesn't it? Hitler's chief architect, Albert Speer, reports in his memoirs of a similar statement made by Hitler. Quote, "You see, it's been our misfortune to have the wrong religion. Why didn't we have the religion of the Japanese, who regard sacrifice for their fatherland as the highest good? Or the Mohammedan religion? It would have been much more compatible to us than Christianity. Why did it have to be Christianity with its meekness and flabbiness?" Whenever you bring up Germany and Hitler, it is the extreme. And actually, it's less extreme, believe it or not, than communism in Russia. For as horrifying as it is, it's just been our media propaganda that hasn't made us really look and really remember the Holocaust that happened in the other socialist state. The key is socialism. One never thinks or imagines that this can happen again. No one thinks it could happen here. Well, did the Germans think that it could? Did the Germans sit there at night and go, you know, that Hitler thing, that could end in concentration camps and the liquidation of the Jews? Did they really think that? Or did people say all along the way, wait, this isn't going well, this isn't us, we shouldn't go down this way. And then they were told they were conspiracy theorists, they were told that it was wrong, that they would even speak out, and then the beating started, and then the execution started, and then that argument just went away. I want you to be aware that people will say to you that I am trying to get you into religion because I want to control or manipulate you, or I want the churches to control or manipulate you. Nothing could be further from the truth. I want you one with God. I want you to have self-reliance or firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, because I want you to be self-reliant. I know if you know your relationship with God, no man will ever put you in a camp. No man will ever tell you that they can create a life, a right, because you know who your rights come from. Let me show you again what Nancy Pelosi said to a gathering of Catholic clergy just a few months back. Remember, huge government progressive.
On the subject of immigration, because I think the church is going to have to play a very major role in how people are treated. The cardinals, the archbishops, the bishops that come to me and say, we want you to pass immigration reform, and I said, but I want you to speak about it from the pulpit. Some who oppose immigration reform are sitting in those pews, and you have to tell them that this is a manifestation of our living the gospel.
Okay. So she wants them to talk about what is the right bill to pass. I'll get up from my church and I will walk out when my church starts to tell me who to vote for or how to vote. I want my church to teach me correct principles, and then I can figure it out. How do we treat each other? I don't want to hear about health care and how health care is social justice and how great it is for me to have health care. I don't want that. You know why? Because that's a mixing of church and state. I do, however, want people to have firm reliance on divine providence and know that our faith, as Benjamin Franklin says, the American faith is there is a God, that we will have to answer to him when we meet him. He gets a little pissy, paraphrasing Ben Franklin, if you haven't been a good dude. The best way to make him happy is to serve him, and the best way to serve him is to serve your fellow man. Now, nobody has to talk to me about health care. It's my job, because of individual salvation, to be charitable, because that will serve God. That's the key. But I don't think these progressives, they look at God as something they can use. Again, here she is talking to a group of spiritual leaders about her, I love this, about her favorite word.
My favorite word is the Word. Is the Word. And that is everything. And you know the biblical reference, you know the gospel reference of the Word. We have to give voice to what that means in terms of public policy that would be in keeping with the values of the Word.
Her favorite word, not two words, her favorite word is the Word. Love that. Nancy, you have a different word than I do, I guess. One of the president's spiritual advisors, Jim Wallace, he also is saying that Marxism, basically, is what Jesus was. Watch.
Are you then calling for the redistribution of wealth in society?
Absolutely, without any hesitation. That's what the gospel is all about.
There couldn't be anything further from the truth. I've never felt charitable. I've never felt like I was serving God on April 15th. I feel charitable when I give it. Jesus didn't say, give all your money to Caesar, and that person over there needs a coat. Give all your money to Caesar, and then Caesar will develop a program and buy that guy a pair of pants. Then there's the president with his views on salvation.
My individual salvation is not going to come about without a collective salvation for the country. My individual salvation rests on our collective salvation.
Our individual salvation always depends on collective salvation.
Always depends. This is where it gets extraordinarily dangerous. We talk about spirituality every day, but we are not making public policy. We don't have the power, the apparatus to force our beliefs into law, because my salvation is on collective salvation. It's a lie. Dangerous trend. We'll talk about it next.